Hello and welcome to this special edition RAGS demonstration. Today I'll be showing how you can use a freeware application called Gimp. It's a picture editing software suite, and I'll show how you can use Gimp to create layered images for the RAGS system. And this is my Gimp icon here. Let me show you how you can find Gimp though. Let's see, where do we go? Okay. That's a monster we'll be using in the demonstration here. Let's go ahead and, not Gimp, let's do a search on Gimp here. There we go. So if you do a Google search on Gimp, you'll find gimp.org. I'm not endorsing nor condoning Gimp. There's lots of tools out there you can use. Gimp is just one I happen to use. You just go here, you click your download button, and you're on your way. If you're a Windows 2000 and above, download is right here. So it's very easy to get. Let's go ahead and bring it up and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we're starting up here now. Now what I'd like to show you is oftentimes when Gimp initially starts up, you might not have our special layers window up here. We've got brushes and layers here, so let's go ahead and close that so I can show you. This actually happened to me. It was somewhat confusing, but Gimp would come up and I wouldn't have my layers menu. This is very important, and you can pull that up simply under Windows, Dockable Dialogues, and somewhere in here is layers. There it is. It's the very first one. So you've got layers at the top. You can dock additional windows together if you want, but I found layers is really all I need. And I'll explain why we need this layers interface up soon. But before we do that, we have to get our images that we want to manipulate. And I usually go to images.google.com, and you can search for any images. So what I did, I searched for a little demonstration dungeon scene here, and with Gimp up here, in order to bring your image into Gimp, you just click and drag and drop, and here it is. This is from Bethesda Softworks. It looks like it's a picture from Oblivion, and this image is, let's see, let's look at the properties so we can get our size here. So this is 1024 by 768. So what I did was I grabbed a collection of other images I thought might look good if we layer them on here. So what we want to do then is, let's start with maybe a bat. So let's drag and drop a bat on here. And as soon as I do that, you'll notice we got lucky. This bat already had transparent image background. And over here on our layers, we've got our background, which is our main image, and then we've got a bat. You can turn off the bat layer if you just want to see what it looks like there with the background, or you can turn off the background. So this will be important here in a minute. But what I'm noticing right now is this bat is awfully large. So let's go ahead and shrink him down. So in order to do that, you have to make sure the bat layer is selected. So I've selected the bat. What I typically do, now keep in mind I'm not a Gimp expert. I just kind of picked this up playing with the tool. If I'm doing anything wrong, I'm sure there's Gimp experts that might watch this. Please let me know. Send it to me in the forums and I can make some corrections to the video. So let's go ahead and shrink this guy down. We're going to right click. We're going to go to the layer menu. We're going to say scale layer. So right here I'm just kind of guessing. Let's guess it maybe, what are we forcing here? Let's guess at 300, and it will maintain your perspective, and we can click the scale button. So now we've got a slightly smaller bat. It's not quite small enough for me. So let's go ahead and shrink him down a little bit more. Let's say maybe 220 would be a good size. There we go. So I'm kind of happy with that size, but I don't like the position on my image here. So if we look at our toolbars over here, we have a move tool. So I'm going to click on that move tool, in Gimp, and then I just hold down on my left mouse button. You can move your bat wherever you want. So let's go ahead and stick him, you know what, I want to stick him up in that corner. So to make the perspective look right, I'm going to shrink him down even further. Let's see how that looks. There we go. So we export this bat now. Let's see, we go to save a copy. Save that. So when we merge the visible layers, our bat will assume the canvas size of the background, I believe. This usually has worked. So if we test our bat, he should appear in that general position. And there he is. So if we look at the image size of this bat, we'll also see that it is 1024 by 768. So just by exporting to our PNG format, our bat fits in correctly with the Rags Designer. Now there's one other way that we can make sure our bat is positioned correctly. If you right click and go to your layer, you can also say layer to image size. So now we've increased the size of the layer. You can see there's a highlight around this square. That's now 1024 by 768 as well. So now if we were to move the bat within our image, you can see the layer we're moving is much larger. So what I might do is, after we move him, we might want to redo this layer to image size. So there we go. So you can move your bat around that way. You can change the layer size. Let's go ahead and save it one more time. So we'll go ahead and replace that guy, export him, and then we're done. Okay, so those are two ways you can get your layer in the correct image, or image size. So let's go ahead and put another creature in here. Here's Zara 2. Okay, so this is good. This time we don't have a transparent image, but we want this layer to become transparent. Fortunately, he's on a solid white background, so this is pretty easy to do with Gimp. All you have to do is, with that layer selected, you use I like to use this fuzzy select tool, and I click on the white, and that should select everything that's white. And if we right click on our layer, we can, hold on. Okay, so with our fuzzy select tool, if you click in the white, it should highlight everything that's white. You can right click, go to your image, layer, and then there's a transparency menu. And there's this handy little function called color to alpha. If you click that, it will turn hopefully your currently selected color into a transparency. So what you'll see here is that it didn't quite get everything. There's still a few other selections that didn't get turned. So let's go ahead and correct those. Let's go ahead and zoom in so you can see. To zoom in, you use the plus key. Zoom out, you use the minus key. It usually works here. Let's see. There we go. So we can zoom in on this guy and see the spots that I missed. And if you select them with that tool and then hit the delete key, you can clean that up. Go over here, we'll clean that guy up here. Let's do some more cleaning. Actually, let's turn that guy off. It might be easier to see. There we go. What about right in there? Let's see if we can get a little in there. Delete. Okay, we'll shrink him back down to our normal size here. Let's put it. There we go. So he's awfully big for this picture as well, so let's go ahead and shrink him down as well. We go back to our layer, we go to scale layer. He is a big creature. So let's squish him down a bit. There we go. So let's use our move tool here. We'll position him in the dungeon a bit. Now if you want it to seem like he's coming from around the corner, you could try to erase his leg part here, but I think for sake of this demo, let's just go ahead and make it easier here. Oops, scale layer. Let's put him down to 500 or so. We could play with that all night just trying to get that right. So we'll make it seem like he's standing on the ground in there. Alright, good. So if we want to save this creature, we'll turn all of those off. Go back to our file, save a copy. We'll call it, I think it was called Zera, something like that. And it still has our PNG selected, so that'll be great. Go ahead and save, export. Let's make sure that this new Zera PNG is the size we want. Yeah, and it is 1024 by 768 as well. So if we open that up, you'll see there he is and he's in the position we want. Okay, let's go back to our picture. Let's turn our layers back on. And now we want to add, let's see, a door. I don't know if the door is going to work here. Let's see what that thing is. Ah, okay. So this is good. This is a spooky looking lady. I think it's from World of Warcraft. However, you'll notice a problem. This lady doesn't have an all-white background. If I use my fuzzy select and click, it's not going to select all of the background that we want, just bits and pieces of it. So this person will be a bit of a challenge to do, but it's still doable. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and select some little blob there, and we'll go ahead and do our layer, transparency, color to alpha, click OK. So what you'll see here is we're not really seeing anything behind here yet, but we do see that we have a layer set in here now. I don't know what Gimp is doing here. Let's wait for a minute. And what we're going to do, once it stops thinking, is, okay, it looks like it's done. We're going to go back to this, and we're going to use our selection tool, our little rectangle. We're going to try to manually clean some of this up. If I have that selection, I hit delete, then you'll see now that we've added the transparency layer. We're starting to remove sections. Now let's go ahead and zoom in a bit. Let's see if I can do that here. So I'm not sure. Okay, that's some sort of background there. Let's zoom out a bit more. And we'll just do another kind of bulk selection here. Oops. Let's see if I can get this straight. Okay, it looks like her hand kind of goes down. Okay. So we'll go ahead and delete that. And then what we want to do is do some manual erasing. Maybe a quicker way, but this way seems to work pretty well. So I've made a circle here. Is that the biggest circle we have? Looks like it. So, alright, come here, you. So what you can do is we have to turn off our selection, back to our eraser, and just start erasing. You'll notice it's only going to erase this layer. So as you can see, this is a pretty tedious process. So you really want to find the images that typically have a white background, because they are much easier to handle. We're going to go ahead and take the time to clean this up here. For the sake of your viewing pleasure, what I'm going to do is stop the recording here, continue erasing, and then I'll start it back up here. So through the magic of this recording, you will see things pause suddenly. Let's see. Okay, so through some painful efforts here, I have cleaned off and erased all of the extra background. It probably could use some touch-up. If you have some more time, you might want to take it. But I just did kind of a quick job here. So let's turn off our big creature. So there she is. She's on her own separate background. And we're going to use the move tool. I think I'll stick her over here. We'll shrink her down a little bit here. Scale that layer. Oh, let's see here. Actually, you know what? Let's change that one to about 300. Okay. There we go. So she's kind of tall. I'll have her sitting over there. Let's see if this creature needs to be moved any. Nope. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and move this creature over a bit. We want it right on top. Okay, good. So there's our background. We're starting to get some creatures on here. You know what? Let's move that bat over there. Okay. So what else do we have here? A door. Let's see if this door is going to work in here. Not really liking the door, so let's go ahead and delete that layer. We don't need that door there. There's another monster. Oh yeah, this could be some decoration, perhaps. Let's go ahead and... this guy's getting in the way. Okay, so he's on a white background, so in theory we should just be able to click there, go Layer, Transparency, Color to Alpha, and OK. And there we go. So that's pretty good. So let's go ahead and shrink this layer down. Get our Move tool. It could be some sort of decoration. Oops. What happened there? Ah! Control Z is your friend. Let's get back here. Okay, let's turn off our selection. Switch to the Move tool. Okay. Now everything's moving. Shrink him down to a little decoration size. There we go. A little bit smaller. I'd like him to be right above that archway. Let's do 110. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. So good. So I like him. Now, one thing I'd like to show you is the order of your layers, similarly to rags. If you remember, this guy was on top of our bat here. Let's go and move him. That's kind of what we wanted. If you wanted the order reversed, you click... oh, use your arrows. There we go. So similarly to the way rags works, you can change your layers that way. So we want him to be behind. We want this creature to be scooted back over here. Okay, so we've saved the bat and that creature so far. So we need a save. The lady in blue. Let's go ahead and move him over that a little bit. Okay. So the lady in blue. So let's turn off everything but her. Sarah. Okay. We have that box there. Okay. So we'll go ahead and save a copy of that. Oh, we're going to call her Blue Lady. We'll export it again. And now we're going to... before I got that guy... ah yes, this thing. Let's go ahead and save that. Decoration. Save. Okay, so there we go. So we've got our bat. We've got our blue lady. So good. So everything's working well. I see a couple of things I missed that could be cleaned up. Alright, so let's go ahead and load up our rags test game. And we're going to add our PNGs in our background image. We've got our dungeon, we've got our bat. Let's go ahead and add the rest of them. There we go. Let's jump back over to our multimedia and we'll select our dungeon, which already has a bat floating in there. That's the old bat. Let's go ahead and remove that bat. Let's put the new bat in here. There we go. Okay, so now we can drop our bat on here. I'm going to drag things in the wrong order on purpose here. Let's drag that monster, drag our decoration, and drag the blue lady. So there's our scene, but of course we want the decoration. If you look at it, we want our decoration to be behind that monster, so let's go ahead and move that down. Actually, we'll move it up. There we go. So now that creature's there. So that's really as easy as it is to get going, and I have a layered demo to show. But the nice thing about using Gimp, and you export each layer, is it saves them at the same size as your background image. So for example, as you just saw actually, I minimize this and everything retained their correct position. If I minimize that, it goes back and everything's aligned correctly, and the scale works out perfectly. That way things will be where you expect them to be and they won't be moving around. So I hope this tutorial on how to use Gimp to create your layered images was helpful. Please let me know if I've done anything wrong, and I'll try to correct how to use Gimp properly, since I'm definitely not the expert. Thank you. Bye.